You must view your business not as a piece of you, but as an entity that you're raising like a child who will eventually take a life of its own.
Does this actually contain the proper way to build and optimize, even if you don't wish to sell? This is still also to increase profitability, right?
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, just asking that question. Now, so look, I'm a coach. I'm not somebody's boss. I don't want to be a boss anymore. I want to be someone you might not like, but you will respect. So I'm going to tell you the way I liked my coach to tell it to me. Just asking that question means you do not understand the purpose of building a business. Every single day when you go to work, you should be building the business so that you don't need to be there. Because if you don't, then everything in that business and everyone tied to that business is at risk. And let me give you an example. Do you know how many times a year I get phone calls from widowers whose spouses died and nobody knows what to do with the business, and their whole life got wrecked because the business was not built to survive without the builder, the owner? You must view your business not as a piece of you, but as an entity that you're raising like a child who will eventually take a life of its own. If you don't view your business that way, creating value like you would with your kids every single day until they're big enough, they can move on and create more life. If you have 5 kids or 3 kids, they're going to amplify your brand 3 times or 5 times. You got to grow your business to do that. So every day when you go to work, you have to ask yourself, like it's so illogical. Who would go to work and say, I want to work all day and create less value for myself in the future? So your obligation to nurturing your business is growing it at the highest value possible. So either you can take that money and put it somewhere to protect your family, invest it in your employees, giving them a bigger opportunity, buying resources that can grow your business and create more value. Like, you have to view your business and your responsibility to it by always creating the most value possible. Because if you don't view it that way, then it's not a business, it's a hobby. And people who build hobbies don't create value. So you have to understand. Just by asking the question, you don't understand. If you want to fix something or create something unbelievable, you got to have a different perspective than you had coming into the conversation, because if you haven't done it yet, you don't know how to do it.
And what got you here is not going to get you to that next
What
level.
got you, it won't get you to the next thing, because these break points, the most tragic thing that happens, and the stats will prove this, there's 31.8 million small to mid-sized businesses in the United States. 25 million have one employee, the founder, who's entirely trapped, burning themselves out, beating themselves around about all the stuff they wish they could do but can't do, living broke, making less than 70 grand a year. It's just ridiculous. And trust me, you're never going to hire a great employee if you can't even show yourself how to make money. It's just so obvious. Now, the tragic thing is for businesses to actually get into the top end of breakpoint 1, or get into breakpoint 2, or get into breakpoint 3, but technically not understand how to build and scale their business by creating value, and then they collapse. So they did the hardest thing, the micro percent, less than 2% of what people can do under $100 million, and then they blow it because they don't understand. And it's so frustrating, to be honest with you. But the good news is it's all just technical. We've reverse engineered 4,000 businesses. We know exactly what you need to do to make your first 100,000 and to take it to 3 million. We know exactly what you need to do to go from 3 to 8 and create maximum value. We know from 8 to 15, and I've done this all the way up to 4 billion. That's why when a $1 billion company bought me 36 months later, they were worth 4.5, because we know what to do. Because the top of the business, no matter how big, is going to be based on the structural support that supports the top, just like a building. And if the structure's weak at the bottom, it can't be a tall building. So all you have to do is find the areas to build structure around, and it's instantly fixed. So if you're sitting here and you're like, man, I got a $3 to $5 million or $10 million or a $50 million or a $100 million company, I want to maximize the value, increase the intrinsic value, set it up maybe one day for a huge capital exit so I can put so much money away I never, ever, ever have to worry about money the rest of my life. Or maybe you're just sitting here saying, I want to have a legacy for my children, which means I have an obligation to create a high-valued, profitable business system because they might not know how to do it. you need to do it. Take action. And I promise you, all day, every day, all we do is this.